Welcome to another episode of Coach Hates Football. Coaches, are you having trouble with ineffective practices and keeping your players and coaches engaged? If so, it's probably due to the way your practice plan is structured. If you want some tips and tricks on how to liven up your practices, stay tuned. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're aware of the new content that'll be coming out. All right, welcome back. So what we're going to talk about today is our practice plan and how you can keep that and keep your practice lively, keep your coaches and players engaged. All right, so the practice plan I have is already filled out, and it's one of our typical Monday practices. As you're going to see, it's a lot of information on this practice plan, but that is what keeps you organized. That is what keeps you engaged. All right, so let's take a look at the practice plan. All right, here we go. So at the beginning of the practice plans, you see at the very top here, again, we have the date, the opponent, so forth and so on. But what's very important, all right, is our focus. And again, once we know what our focus is, the players and the coaches know what the job is at hand. All right, so the very first thing we're going to look at here is, for us on a Monday, is corrections from the game that we played the previous Friday. Our first and second down installs, and on special teams will be our kickoff return. Now, why is it structured that way? Because kickoffs usually happen when you kick the ball off. You're on first down on defense. When you kick off return, you're on first down on offense. So that way we get to work our transitions in there as well. All right, we get to bring guys on and off the sideline. And if the guys are already on kickoff, they know to stay out there, get ready for the huddle, so forth and so on. All right. After we do that, now we start looking here at the actual practice schedule, at the practice plan, okay? As you notice, I start off in our times. We got all the periods here on the side, but our times start off right at 2:30. Well, that's when we dismiss from school. So when we dismiss from school, I have everything is already posted. We can send it out on email and text blast, so the players already know what to expect when they come to practice and where to be. As soon as the bell rings, they know to be in a certain place at a certain time. So at 2:30, you see we have a team meeting in the field house. That's where we do our housekeeping. We talk about different things. We also talk about the practices. Anything that we need to talk about, that's what we do. We do that very briefly. Then I let them go and do tape and dress. That's where they get dressed, they get taped. You can see the athletic training staff, whatever the case may be. Then we go to film. I think film is very important. And why film is important, I'm going to break down, especially through huddle or whatever you have, I'm going to show them their first and second down plays. If we're on offense, I'm showing them what the defense likes to run on first downs and second downs. All right. Also on defense, I like them to show the defense what the teams like to run on first and second downs and given those particular situations. And then we also do our special team video there as well, how they do their kickoff returns and how they do their kickoffs. Then we go into the field. As you notice, it's 5 minutes. Get on the field. All right. Here's the very important part. Period 5. You notice I eliminate the times and I only put the minutes. This is important because I tried it with the times. It never works out the same, and you start panicking a little bit because, seconds start getting away from you, and then before you know it, minutes, and before you know it, you're 10, 15, 20 minutes behind, all right, because you're constantly looking at your watch or your clock versus looking at the amount of minutes, okay? So we start off our specialist. Specialist is basically just a light 50% warm-up. Everybody goes to their special teams group. If you're a long snapper, you're long snapping. If you're kicking, punting. Kickoff returns are working on catching the long balls, the kickoffs and the punts. Gunners are working on releases, but everything is 50% just to get the body warmed up a little bit. After that, we go to flex and stretch. That's where we stretch. If you look over here in the instruction part, you see it's very, very important that all coaches are involved. That's where you get your little quick seconds with your players. You get to motivate them, tease them a little bit, challenge them to something that they need to do for that day. But all coaches need to be involved in those practices. In the stretching, excuse me. And it's very important, like I said, because that's a chance you get to see the vibe of your players already. If somebody not feeling well, whatever, you get a chance. That's your 15 minutes roughly to kind of catch the vibe of your players, and that way you kind of know which way your practices are going to head. After we do that, we go into our special teams. It's only 8 minutes, okay? And let me stop for a second. This is very important. As you see, we go through the minutes. I already have one of our managers, and they're on the clock. They have the bullhorn. I was fortunate enough to actually have a big clock that we used. They had a horn in it, and we could preset the times. But in between each one, I don't start the clock immediately. I give them a 30-second transition period. That's huge. And the reason that is huge is because they get an opportunity to get from one section to the next, and they know at 30 seconds, when that horn is blown and you're not where you're supposed to be, guess what? There'll be some consequences for not being in your spot, if you know what I mean, coaches. All right? So after that 5-minute specialist, they know with 30 seconds that next horn blows, you better be in your lines getting ready to stretch. After that 15 minutes, they got 30 seconds. They know they better be where they're supposed to be for kickoff return. 30 seconds, now we're going into individual. That's 12 minutes. And again, in-season individual for me is a lot different than summertime or even spring individual. In-season individual for me has to pertain to the plays in which we're going to run. So for example, if we're doing inside zone this week, individual better be on inside zone handoffs and footwork. Okay, I like the fact we want to step over the bags and all that. But if they haven't gotten it by now and we're in the season, guess what, guys? He's not going to get it, and he's probably not the guy that you're looking for to carry the ball. Same thing with DBs. If we're working on, let's say, a palms or a cover 2 read, I don't want to work on cover 3 individual if our game plan is telling us that we're going to implement or we're going to install a cover 2 palms or a cover 2 read coverage in there, and we're working on bailing out. I mean, I get it. That's for warm up, but that's what flex and stretch is for. Maybe pre-practice stuff or whatever. But when we do individual, we are strictly working on the game plan. All right, and we're breaking down the nuances of the game plan, footwork, technique, so forth and so on. All right, I'm gonna stop right here just to simply show you in the margins. This is brilliant, okay, in my eyes. And again, I didn't make this practice plan up. I actually got this from years and years ago from a coach. And I just took it, I kind of tweaked it a little bit, the things I like to do. But if you look over here in the left-hand margin, all right, it's an offensive breakdown of individuals by position, offensive line. And coaches can go through this and check off what it is they would like to do during their individual, okay? So the things they may say, for example, they want to do their stance and their steps for inside zone, okay? Again, it has to pertain to what we're installing. Running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, all right, and then team drills. On the right-hand side, we have the defensive individual checkoff list by position. Defensive line, cornerbacks, defensive backs, linebackers, and then defensive team drills, okay? I think that is huge. That is important because it also keeps you, it's like a lesson plan for teaching class. It gets you organized and you know what you have to do. Also, by you checking them off, you know you only have 12 minutes. There are 4 things that you want to do. Guess what? You got 3 minutes to take care of it. And I highly suggest, coaches, if you're in your individual, don't count on yourself to rely on the time. You're going to be talking, coaching, teaching. You're going to lose track. Before you know it, you'll spend all 12 minutes on one section and you checked off 4 boxes. I highly suggest that you get a manager or maybe an injured player, somebody to keep you on track with time. All right, and don't let that player tell you when 3 minutes is up. Coach, 30 seconds. That way you know you need to start wrapping up that section so you can go on and start teaching the next section within that 12 minutes. Okay. After we get to that, we do 6 minutes of team formation. All right, just how to line up. How are we going to line up against an offense, and how offensively we're going to line up on our landmarks, whether we're 2 yards inside the hash, 3 yards from the sideline based on the formation, so forth and so on. It's not a long time. Here is very important. Over there in the instruction part, I got check script. All right, we're going to go into that part. On the back of this practice plan is the script. The reason this is important, and a pet peeve of mine as a coach, I swear I can't stand it, is when a coach yells out, "Coach, what are we on?" Or, "Coach, what we doing?" I'm going to have a long conversation with that coach after practice because that is a pet peeve of mine. I can't take it. I can't stand it because it makes no sense for us to put a game or practice plan together, talk about it, try and implement it, and somebody has a practice plan in their hand and say, "What are we doing?" It irks me beyond belief. Your coaches, If you don't look organized, the players are not going to be organized, okay? So where it says check the script, you know, play 1, you should be in, you know, pro formation. Play 2, we're in spread formation. Play 3, we're in, you know, tight end. Whatever you want to call your formations, you're more than welcome to call them what you want. But I love the fact because guess what? You already know what's coming up next. You know what personnel you're looking for. All of that is within the script, all right? And again, the practices are running fast. They're running quick. There's no time. There's no idle time in the practice. Everybody's moving. You know, as those saying, the Chinese fire drill. Everybody just running. But there's a method to the madness. Okay. Next, we do inside run. That's where we simply break down. We only work on inside run plays. All right. Whatever the game plan is for that week, we're working on it. As you see, it says 8 minutes inside run. Check the script. Okay. Now you can break this up 4 minutes and 4 minutes. All right. 4 minutes on the script for offense. 4 minutes on the script for defense. All right, however you want to structure that, that's fine, but please stick to it. Don't get into the habit of saying, Coach, run it again. Coach, run it again. Because again, if you're in the season and you got to constantly keep saying run it again, that means that it was a total breakdown. You're not correcting one player. You're not correcting maybe a step or this. You're just simply, it's a huge breakdown. And so maybe you have to rethink that and maybe just scrap that play. All right. Here's huge for us. Now we get to a water break, all right? Give them 5 minutes. We're here in Florida. It's very hot, all right? We're mandated to give them water breaks. They already get water when they want, but we also like to give them a 5-minute water break and cool down. So let me go back a little bit. As you notice, we got high intensity, low, high, low, high, low. So flex and stretch, low. Kickoff return, high. Individual, low. Kind of medium. Team formation should be high, should be rapid in and out, in and out, in and out. Inside run, high. Boom, then we slow down to a water break. Everybody kind of calms down. Come back out of that. Now we're 8 minutes into kickoff and we're installing our kickoff. All right, check the special team for personnel. You know, if Johnny goes down, does Bobby come in? All that is very important. Again, being organized, being on top of it, knowing what's coming next. All right, you're actually playing a play ahead. When you call out play 1, you should automatically start looking at play 2 so you know what adjustments need to be made. Next, we're on 7 versus 7 and one-on-ones. Again, everybody knows what 7-on-7 is. That's your perimeter players. All right, and one-on-ones with your O-line, D-line. All right, so you see I have 12 minutes. I got 6/6, meaning that offense gets 6 minutes, defense gets 6 minutes. It's up to you how fast you want to do it and how efficient you want to do it, how many plays you get within those 6 minutes. And we look over here, check the script. Got to make sure we're on the script, okay? And I'm a big stickler about making sure that you perform what it is that you need to perform in order to make that happen, okay? Next, 30-second break. They know they need to be, boom, we get ready to go on the perimeter. Here's something else I do. Guys, even though I know we're together, I always put the ball in different sections. So we may do perimeter on the 20-yard line. Then when we leave 7-on-7, we were on the other side of the 20-yard line, on the other side of the field at the other 20-yard line. Instead of us just sitting right in one spot and it gets stagnant and it gets stale, boom, we know the perimeter, we're doing it on the other sideline. We know we go to 7-on-7, put the ball on the 40. All right, now we leave perimeter. Again, it's just like inside running the other ones. We have the script. We know what we have to do. Again, coaches, please do not say, what are we on? All right, that irks me beyond belief, okay? And then we go to full team. I may put the ball on the 10 coming out, okay? And that'll be in the script where the ball is, all right? And then after that, we bring practice up on coach. Again, more housekeeping, you know, whatever the message is for the end of the day. Speak to your players. You know, after that, if you got, we call it betterment. Instead of punishment, we call it betterment because it tells our players that they know better than to do whatever they did again, and it's going to make you a better person by going through it. All right, let me talk about this install section. I love this piece. Offense gets to write in what they want to install. All right, are they installing this week a certain formation, a particular motion, a particular route, a particular play? It can be noted right there. Defense has the same thing on their side. You can put it in. What stunts are you introducing? What blitzes are you may be introducing? Everything is right there. All right. Let me go to the next one. Here's the actual script. But before I do that, to the left-hand side of the script is the special team individual. If you have a special team coordinator and there's certain things he wants to go over on the kickoff install, he can check that off and be organized. So now looking at that, I mean, it's a great way to keep your practices going, flowing, and knowing what's happening. Now we can look here at the on the back side of this practice schedule. So when you print it out, you make it front and back. It's right here on the back. Okay. For the period, you see we have team formation. We know what hash we're on: left, right, middle, left, middle, right, middle. The down and distance. Offensive, get to write the formation in there. Whatever play. This is huge too. I am huge on drawing cards. Why? Because it keeps you efficient. You're not trying to tell players, come here. He's half listening. Look here, you get the cards, you make them, and you can keep those cards for the entire week. You don't have to just use them for first down. Most high schools run the same plays on first down that they run on third down. Okay? And so that way you can use those cards and do everything that you need to do so far as making your practices more efficient and running smoother. And then over there, you put defense, you write in whatever defense you're in. You know, even, cover 3, or whatever you're running. Okay? So that's typically how our practices look. Guys, again, I talked a lot about how to run it, keeping efficient. One thing you have to make sure is, 1, be organized. 2, stick to your practice plan. 3, have a timekeeper. That is super important. Somebody that's not going to be engaged, a coach can't do it. You can't do it as a head coach. Your coordinators, because you're too engaged in coaching, trying to get those guys better. Before you know it, time would have passed you by and you end up missing out on very important things. All right. And then third is your script. Your script is super important. I know it's hard. We always want to compete. Okay. And when you want to compete, that's great. But unfortunately, on Friday night, you don't play yourself. You play another team. So by playing the other team, guess what? Just because you won Monday through Thursday and lose on Friday, how did that work out for you? So again, you want to make sure when you do your script and have the coordinators get together. You know what, coach? Hey, I want you to put me in a bad situation. Let's see if the quarterback can check us out of it. You know what? Defense, guess what? I'm running cover 2. Offense, I want you to run 4 verticals. Put us in a bad situation. Let me see how my players. You don't have to win every time you line up on your script. That's something I had to learn myself, because just being natural competitors, you want to always win. But guess what? You don't have that other coach's playbook. You know, you may have an idea of what they may want to do, and he may make a great call. How do your kids react to being put in a bad situation? And that's what you want to kind of look at. That's why scripting is so important. All right? And so, like I said, with that being said, guys, I hope this helps you out managing. Also, if you email me, I don't have a problem sending you a copy of this, a blank copy of this practice script. You're more than welcome to have it. Only thing that I ask is that you subscribe and help grow this channel so we can do more things like this. So if you do email me, only thing I'm asking, guys, you know, I'm on the honor system, hoping coaches in this brotherhood that we in, that you subscribe to the channel, and I don't have a problem emailing you over a copy of this practice plan so you can implement it yourself. All right. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you'll catch all the latest videos that we have coming out. And hey, guys, see you at the 50-yard line.